Overwatch has already been out for a few years, and over that past few years, honestly, I and a lot of other people have done a lot of complaining about it, but I will say this, that Overwatch is a solid game. And it is such a solid game based off of the strength alone that the people who work on Overwatch make sure that it is functional and that there is as little glitches in it as there possibly can be. They try to listen to the community and get feedback from the community, and they've done as good of a job as they can. But that is where my list comes in, because there are still a few minor and very small problems that I have noticed with the game. So here is 5 things that are still wrong with Overwatch. That's right, we're doing list videos now. Shout out to Top List, the only good list channel.
Number 5.
Numbani is still a mess. I've played this game since day 1. And coming up in a few days, on July 27th, Doomfist will have been in the game for over a year. Some of you may not even realize what I'm talking about. And here it is. Numbani was announced as a map on August 5th, 2015. It's a capture point payload map that takes place in a city, and on the attacking spawn, you're inside of an airport. And in the theme and the lore of the map, what you're doing is trying to capture the point, get the cart, and push the cart that is containing Doomfist's glove to the last point. And to hype up Doomfist's release, they made it look like Doomfist had invaded that city to steal back his glove. And by doing that, in the attacking spawn, aesthetically speaking, they ruined the entire thing. They messed up everything. There's dead Orisa drones in there, and there's a giant punched hole in the wall. Keep in mind, Doomfist has been out for over an entire year, and the map still looks like this. Why hasn't somebody cleaned this up yet? They're in the future. There's robots that are probably designed to clean, and they haven't cleaned up the fucking mess. They haven't gotten rid of the hole in the wall. They haven't removed the Orisa from the hole in the wall. Why is it so dirty? It makes me upset to look at it. I don't like thinking about Doomfist. He's a horrible character. They have the models for the original map. Why not just make it be how it once was, where it was clean? I don't know if it's because of laziness, or because they just forgot about it, or because they don't care, but I feel like it's something that could easily be fixed. And to reinforce this, they got rid of his fist inside of the cart. According to the lore, the fist technically wouldn't be in that cart anymore. It would no longer be being transported because Doomfist stole it back. Why did they fix the cart but not change the room back to being clean again? Clean your room, Jeff.
Number 4.
Being able to ult from spawn. Having an ultimate in Overwatch is one of the staples of the game. Every character has their own abilities, but you use those abilities and you play the game to get your ultimate ability, which is supposed to be the granddaddy of them all, the one that helps your team win the game. You use it to wipe the enemy team, or maybe you just use it to protect yourself or the team surrounding you. But in the case of pre-nerf Mercy, you weren't allowed to do your ultimate when you were in spawn. Not just in Overwatch, but in gaming as a whole, Mercy, the whole character, and the development mistakes that were made is one of the most embarrassing blunders in all of gaming, and we will get to that. But for now, to explain things, when Mercy first came out, her ultimate ability wasn't Valkyrie. Her ultimate ability was to actually do her resurrect. She could resurrect as much dead teammates as were in her range for doing so. And obviously, it was a problem. Even on paper, that sounds really bad, and they even acknowledged it to be one of the, and I quote, most powerful abilities in the game. And that's true. So before they put her in the PTR for 7 months or however long it was, to make her ultimate less powerful, they made it be so she couldn't res in spawn. And that's definitely reasonable. But how come Mercy couldn't resurrect her whole team in spawn, and still can't to this day because she was changed? How come it's that way, but every other character can still do their ultimate from spawn? How come Junkrat can send a tire that gets an entire team kill from spawn to the cart or to the point? Why can Bridget rally from spawn so that way the team comes out with armor? And how come Hanzo can send a dragon from spawn, no matter how safe he is or how much people are on the point attacking it? How come he can do that from spawn, but Mercy wasn't allowed to res? In my opinion, getting a team kill or even getting a few picks from spawn is just as powerful as getting an entire team res from spawn as Mercy. I know that this is a gaming thing and that people will either be for this or against this, but what do you guys think?
Number 3.
Diva and Zenyatta and the way that they received the nano boost. I just got a quad as Ana. Perfect timing for that. Ana is in my top 3 most played characters, and to be quite honest, I have to say that as the game is right now, she is my favorite character to play. She's an excellent healer, she does excellent DPS, her team abilities are so good, making the team be able to heal more and the enemies heal less, and she's just in a good spot. I do think that there are some improvements that could be made, but game-wise, she's really good, and I like her a lot. However, what I don't like is the fact that her ultimate can be rendered completely useless if you give it to Zenyatta or to Diva. Whether it be on purpose or accidentally, There should be no way that her ultimate cannot be utilized whatsoever. As our first example, the reason why it's never good to give it to Diva is because if she gets it and she loses her mech, she loses the nano boost altogether, and that's so stupid. Why would she not keep it? If her mech gets destroyed, she should have the remainder of the nano inside of her regular body. What a waste. The same concept applies when you're getting into your mech because you still lose the nano boost. And here's an interesting little factoid for you guys. If you send your Diva Bomb away or your Diva Bomb gets immediately destroyed, you actually still, in your human form, hold on to the nano boost. So if Diva is still holding on to the nano boost in her human form, why does her mech not get it as well? That doesn't make any sense. As well, I know a bunch of you have already commented saying that you just shouldn't give nano to Diva because it's not good. But the thing is that sometimes when you're playing, it's good to give the nano boost away just to keep somebody alive. It gives them the damage buff as well as making them take 50% less damage. So sometimes it's just good to hold on the point, which makes it that much more frustrating when you have a Diva that gets the nano boost and she loses it because she either loses her mech or she gets into her mech. Furthermore, if the nano boost is still on her mech and she sends away a Diva Bomb, why is the Diva Bomb not better? It should be like a stronger explosion or something, or it should detonate faster. I don't know. Make it do something. This is a little bit more obscure, but I don't think that transcending Zenyatta should even be able to receive the nano boost. And this bothers me specifically because I've seen a specific post on the forums from a developer, and I think that it's since been deleted because I can't find it, but they talked about making it be so transcending Zenyatta can no longer receive nano boost. It's just a complete waste, and accidents do happen, but even then, like, if they would just make it be so the nano boost made everything better, it wouldn't be a waste. Zenyatta should not be able to receive nano boost when he is transcending. That, or getting the nano boost while you're transcending, should make the transcendence better somehow. What you think?
Number 2.
Cheater Widow on King's Row. I hope that you guys have your pitchforks ready because this next one is about DPS mains and people who play Widowmaker. And I know that all of the DPS mains out there are the ones who are the most aggressive and hard-headed and stubborn. But just call on Mother, have her bring you a Tang, tell her to take the safety scissors from your room because you might hurt somebody, and just bear with me. Coming in at number 2 is what I and my friend Tyler have referred to since the game has come out as Cheater Widow. And what Cheater Widow is a widow that is in the attacking spawn on King's Row and snipes from the very top of it, where they can go in and out to cover, to get back to full health, and on top of that, they have a sight line of the entire choke point, which is incredibly powerful, especially if you can hit shots as Widow, meaning that that entire choke point and that entire first area is shut down completely. It's completely unfair, and you can't send a Winston or anybody over there to attack her because she'll just go back in the spawn, and if somebody does go to attack her, they're on the attacker side. So if a Winston or a Diva goes over there, they're going to get jumped by the rest of the team, and that's going to be a pick, and that's going to be grounds for them to go in, and that's just completely unfair, which leaves you with very few options. You have the option of holding on first and hoping that they can't team wipe you guys, sending somebody to harass or shoot the Widow, which could result in them getting picked off, or hoping that the Widow just isn't good and trying to play at the choke point anyways. It's not fair. It is essentially a god mode spot where Widow is invincible. And I know that you're thinking, oh, where her hook is, it has to recharge. And that's not the case at all, actually. The hook is infinite, even in competitive, as demonstrated here. At this point, since Widow is an essential pick on attack on King's Row, the meta has been established where you pick, you fire, you go back down, you switch characters to reset the hook, and then you go right back up because it gives you a lesser cooldown, because you really don't need to be Widow for the entirety of the game on King's Row that you're going to be playing. So really, having an ultimate is no big deal, because you're only going to be playing Widow for the first part of it, getting first. And quite literally, you are invincible. If you get hit once, you can just go back in and go right back up, no matter what. You can just switch off and switch back on, and it's that simple. And just to clear things up, I don't think that a Widow on attack is overpowered by any means. I just think that a Widow being able to snipe from spawn and go back in to heal or be invincible and repeat is incredibly broken, and it's not okay to be in the game. I think that they should entirely just get rid of that top area, because really only Widowmaker is going to be utilizing it. A majority of the characters can't even get up there. Even if they could, there's nothing that could be done up there. Widow can get a consistent one shot just by having a tailored area that is in spawn. That is a luxury just for her. Nobody else gets to utilize that. And since it's tailored the Widow, they should just get rid of the entire thing. And it's definitely okay to snipe from spawn too. The only real issue with this is that she is invincible in that spot. What I do think they should do is keep this spot here and have the other spot that is inside of spawn completely removed. If it's this way, then she can't just snipe from spawn and be invincible and have a sightline of everything. With her having a sightline there, she's going to have to call for healing, or she's going to have to leave the spot. Whereas with the other one, she absolutely doesn't have to do that. She can be on her own, and she shuts down the whole area. It's easier to manage, and it's still powerful for Widow. And finally, number 1, the PTR being useless. Earlier, I spoke about how Mercy was a really embarrassing thing that Blizzard and Overwatch had put out, and that they had her sitting in the PTR for way too long just for her to still be fucked up. And although it is a good place to put in new things into the game, it is not a good place to beta test characters, and it absolutely should stop being used altogether for beta testing, at least beta testing. In my opinion, they should just remove the PTR and they should add all the new stuff into Quick Play or Arcade, because at least people actually play that. In regards to the beta testing for changes to characters, it needs to stop being used that way because it is not being utilized, and the information that they're getting from the PTR is so ass backwards, and the stuff that ends up into the game gets changed anyways, almost 100% of the time. Mercy was absolutely horrible for months. Literal months, like multiple months. Then Jeff Grandma Rapist Kaplan puts her in the PTR where she sits there for even more months, and then she comes out of the PTR into the whole game and is even worse than she was before. And then, for even more months on top of that, she is again changed. And right now, I wouldn't say that she's good, and I wouldn't really say that she's bad. I would say that she's just kind of like fucked up. She will never be the same again, and it's because the PTR doesn't work. She was in the PTR for so long, and it just never worked. And it doesn't stop there. Bridget was put in the PTR on February 28th, and then she was put into the live servers on March 20th. And on top of that, it gets even worse. She wasn't allowed to be used in competitive until April 30th. That is 61 days of beta testing. And Bridget, as we speak right now, at the date of this video going up, is the most broken and underbalanced, overpowered character that exists in the game. She is dramatically overpowered, and it still gets worse. 4 days after she was allowed to be used in competitive, they announced a nerf for her. It's almost as if they would just let people use the characters, they would be able to nerf them faster. But instead, they held out on Bridget, and they just had her be an unavailable character for far too long just for her to get nerfed anyways. And here's a clip of me predicting that. That honestly makes me not want to play Overwatch if Bridget's not going to be in it for like fucking 2 months. That's ridiculous. And it sucks because like they're not going to fucking go back on that. It's just stupid. There's no point. Like how big of a deal is it that like 10 games are going to be bad? Like us waiting 10 months for them to allow her to be into fucking Overwatch is so stupid because people aren't going to play Bridget in Quick Play. Like hardly anybody plays Quick Play, and anybody who actually actively plays competitive isn't going to go out of their way to fucking play Quick Play to play Bridget. That's just not what's gonna happen. It's gonna be the exact same outcome, and it's just gonna take longer for people to fucking start playing her. Yeah, dumb. It makes no sense. Basically, the gist of that clip, I predicted exactly what would happen to Bridget, and it did happen. They didn't make her available to people to play in competitive, and because of it, she sat around as an unselectable character just to inevitably be nerfed anyways. And the entire point of it is that the PTR should no longer house beta characters or characters that have changes made to them. They should just throw them into fucking competitive because that's the fastest and best way for a character to be fixed. More people play competitive, more people play Overwatch seriously and competitive, and even just adding her to Quick Play would be more than enough. Way better than having her fucking sit on the PTR where she will end up being changed anyways. The PTR does not reflect the real players that play this game. The PTR reflects people who just want to go and check to see what something's all about. But if you give this kind of stuff to us to have available to us as soon as you can, then we will immediately, much faster than the 4 months that you have characters sitting, we will be able to determine what's wrong with it and what needs to change. It's ridiculous. The PTR is so stupid, and I'm tired of having characters like Symmetra, Bridget, Mercy, and who knows what other characters are going to be changed. Doomfist is pretty broken right now, so I imagine that he's going to be sitting in PTR and not be allowed to be played in competitive for a while. So it's just a never-ending cycle. We could easily grind all this stuff out way quicker than we choose to do it. We just don't. And all Jeff has to say for it is that, oh, well, we can't always get the characters right on the first try. You know why you don't get the characters right on the first try? Because the first try is them being put into the real game. Like, what a moron. I hate Jeff Kaplan. He's so stupid. I cannot believe it. But that is my top 5 list of things that are still wrong with Overwatch. Solid game, honestly, my favorite game or one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game to death. The PTR thing genuinely pisses me off. The other stuff just kind of is a frustrating little inconvenience that I wish would change. What do you guys think should change? What are some things that are still wrong with this game, little or big, that you would want to change? Let me know down in the comment section below, and like if you did enjoy the video. It's always good to just commentate and vent to you guys about some things, about whatever it may be, and let me know if you guys want some more list type of videos. I probably won't be doing much of them, to be completely honest. I just wanted to do this video because this stuff has been weighing heavy on my conscience for a while now. But yeah, I love you guys. As always, I'm Justin, and you're motherfucking not, and I will see you guys in the next video.